Okay. So, a new patient is in need of an organ every 8 minutes. That means by the end of all of our presentations, 18 more people will be added to the organ donation list. It's no surprise to anyone that the wait for an organ is long. This is simply because we don't have enough organs for everyone that needs one. Additionally, some patients need multiple organ transplants, which further decreases their chances of receiving one. The United States has around 100,000 patients waiting on an organ every year. But if we look at the records of transplants, we'll see that less than half of them actually received a donation. There are multiple reasons for our organ shortage, but the biggest one is that less than 1% of people who agree to donate their organs die in ways that leave them viable for transplantation. To put it in perspective, that's 1 out of 1,000 people. Both the increased length of the human lifespan and the rise in obesity have exacerbated the need for donated organs. In the past, with medicine in its infancy, most people lived until 67. Now, in the present day, the average lifespan of an American is 80. Our bodies are like machines. As we age, they stop working as efficiently as they used to, and it's easier to get injured or succumb to disease. This is why most people on the organ transplant list are over 50. As for obesity, severe overweightness can lead to health issues like liver and kidney disease, as well as heart failure. Obesity isn't the only reason for these issues, as diet, physical activity, and habits like smoking have also increased these cases. Now try to imagine yourself as a critically ill patient. The average time on a transplant list is 3 to 5 years. And although you're made a priority because of your health, the doctor tells you it'll still be some time before you receive an organ. Without this transplant, you'll die. So you accept your fate, get your affairs in order, ask out your crush, buy a lotto ticket, whatever. But before she leaves, she gives you one last resort, xenotransplantation. America's organ crisis has been the bane of our healthcare system for years. Scientists and medical researchers have been searching for ways to mitigate this issue with a solution that is both ethical and equitable. A complex problem can only be solved with an out-of-the-box answer. So after years of trials and experimental studies, researchers have finally determined the key to overcoming this obstacle. I'm here to tell you why pig organ transplants are the catalyst for change. And as we venture into this new world of science and understanding, it's important that we recognize all the lives that can be saved from these findings. Xenotransplantation is the transplantation of living organs, tissues, or cells from one species to another. Pigs have been labeled as a good match for humans due to their physiological similarities and modern abundance. When we think of animals similar to humans, your mind most likely jumps to apes. Oh, primates, sorry. You weren't the only one. Before pig transplants, scientists focused on chimpanzees and baboons. Apes and monkeys are also physiologically similar to us, even more so than pigs, so why make the switch? For one, population. Apes and monkeys are considered endangered species. The pushback from animal rights activists discouraged medical professionals from using these animals and forced them to find something that would appease both sides. For example, Dr. Leonard Bailey conducted a baboon heart transplant into a premature infant. After releasing his procedure to the media, he was immediately hit with backlash from human and animal rights activists. They were showing up outside the hospital he taught at, and he started receiving hate messages in the mail. He's not the only one. Another man, Dr. James Hardy, also conducted a heart transplant. This time, instead of a baboon heart, he did it with a chimpanzee. He too also received hate messages after publishing his findings and was hit with outrage. Another big reason for the switch was gestational periods. The gestational period of a primate is very similar to that of a human. Female apes carry out their pregnancies in 8 months, while monkeys carry theirs for 6. A pig's gestational period is around 3, and additionally, pigs also give birth to several offspring at a time in comparison to primates' 1 offspring. There are multiple other reasons for why pigs are the best candidates for human transplantation, such as cost and size of their organs. But the biggest and most important reason stems from the fact that pigs are so much easier to genetically modify than primates. Now, how exactly does genetic modification work? Genetic modification has been made possible with a tool called CRISPR. CRISPR was made to imitate the way bacteria replicates virus DNA. We can think of the process like a copy and paste function on a device. Upon infection, the bacteria records a piece of the virus's DNA before storing it on their own. By doing this, the bacteria can remember the virus before deploying a protein called Cas9 to destroy it. When we apply this process to pigs, we can see how scientists use CRISPR to prepare them for xenotransplantation. First, Cas9 targets and cuts out a piece of unwanted pig DNA. For example, Pigs have a specific protein that causes an extreme immune response within humans. Then, using CRISPR, they're able to either replace or edit the DNA. This helps pig organs become more human-like in a way and ensures that they cause the least amount of damage upon transplantation. Please don't be discouraged from eating pork after this. I promise you, your bacon is still bacon. And we also share around 60% of our DNA with bananas too. So I hope that helps. All right, I've gone on about how xenotransplantation works and why it happens, but what are some of the challenges facing pig organ transplants? The main issue is the risk of infecting the patient with something called porcine endogenous retrovirus. A retrovirus's main function is to sneak into its host cell and insert a copy of their own RNA. This ensures that the virus will be replicated by the human body. To help you understand the severity of this outcome, another example of a retrovirus would be HIV or AIDS. You remember those pig organ proteins I mentioned before? They're officially known as alpha-gal proteins. The immune response initiated from these proteins can cause 3 different types of organ rejection. Hyperacute rejection can happen within hours of the transplant. It causes the body to attack the organ itself. Vascular injuries occur when the donor and host immune systems clash, causing blood coagulation. And finally, cell-mediated chronic rejection. It's actually the same thing as hyperacute rejection, it just happens over a longer period of time. Although these obstacles may place doubt into the efficiency of pig organ transplantation, I believe that xenotransplantation is a revolutionary milestone in the history of biomedical engineering and is the best solution to the organ shortage problem. Even in this very second, the organ donation list continues to grow longer while the number of donors decreases. Imagine all of the lives that can be saved from the utilization of pig organs. While there are potential drawbacks from this approach, the benefits far outweigh them. In this new age of science and technology, we should prepare ourselves with new, innovative solutions to problems not only facing our country, but the entire world. If we embrace the future that xenotransplantation holds, I guarantee we can ensure a brighter and healthier outcome for all. Thank you.